Okay. Hare Krishna. So, well, well, yeah, I think you should speak now. You have a long one.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paskatyade Starine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is not my adhikari to usually speak before Bir Krishna Goswami, but I'm coming out of my comfort zone just because I was requested by him. On this most auspicious day of your appearance, Srila Prabhupada, I want to thank you for and acknowledge you for your incredible mercy that you have bestowed on my life as well as the whole planet. You are you once remarked to one of your disciples who asked why he had been given your mercy, and you said, I have created your mercy. You simply by your perseverance and potency, so many liberated souls have come to your lotus feet and surrendered their whole life to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and became transformed, living a life full of freedom, power, and full self-expression in their service to Sri Radha and Krishna. Just 2 years before joining your wonderful movement as a teenager, I unfortunately have to mention this because it will explain why I have dedicated my life to prasadam distribution. This is not a glorification of me. This is how sinful I was, that I was a major drug dealer as I lived 1 hour away from New York City. For 2.5 years, my teenage life was sold. I sold every kind of drug you could think of except heroin to hundreds of young people during the time of the 60s and 70s. In the summer of 1969, I was arrested by a narcotics agent and later spent 60 days in the county jail. After sobering up, I went to college for 2 years and then joined your wonderful ISKCON movement, encouraged by my brother who had met the devotees at a DC rally against anti-war. I began my devotional career in Radha Govinda's Henry Street Temple. In the kitchen pot room, I washed pots for 1 year, where I graduated into the deity kitchen and quantity devotee kitchen under the tutelage of Mother Bhadra. The prasadam she cooked was so incredible, I became totally enlivened. And Krishna had captured my heart and my tongue. I finally had the opportunity to purify my sinful life as a teenager previously. At the age of 21, I joined your Krishna conscious movement and was completely enamored by the amazing prasadam that I tasted out of Mother Bhadra's own cooking hands. From there onwards, I have dedicated and chose to dedicate my life to prasad cooking and distribution as an opportunity to purify my sinful activity. This service became the love of my life. By your mercy also, I received a wonderful prearranged marriage with your devotee Kamalini. And from there we we grew up 2 wonderful devotees. Everything I have only is due to your mercy. If I had not met you, I certainly would have been in jail right now, probably rotting. You instructed us all to become gurus as our disciples. We are actually being encouraged and being inspired by your wonderful disciple, Krishna Goswami, who has such a strong potency for Guru Nishta. I have also been blessed to be here in this Radha Govinda temple, New Goloka, where Krishna, Radha Goloka are the center of attraction. And even in the midst of so many trials and errors and COVID, still the worship is going on more strong than ever, and Krishna is showering his blessings. His example, Bir Krishna Goswami, is very much appreciated due to his enthusiasm to preach according to time, place, and circumstance. And this temple is flourishing nicely, imbibed by so much love and devotion to your deity, to dear Radha Golokananda, the most merciful lordships. This is all due to your mercy that I am still alive, living, and that I love the devotees and the deities. I could rightly say I could thank you 1,000 times a day for coming to this nasty Kali Yuga earth planet. Has been a great challenge. Thank you so much for everything. Everything I have in my life is due to your mercy. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jaya Purvaji. So there's one devotee online that I wanted to let her do it because she has to go to another program, but she's Radhika from Chicago. Yeah. Anyway, want to give her an opportunity, so I'm going to let her speak right now. Hopefully everybody will hear her because I'm going to put it on.
Thank you,
On the
Maharaj.
microphone. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me put on the speaker loud. Speaker. Can you hear me, Sri Radhika?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. I'm putting the microphone on our speaker. Just say Hare Krishna first.
Hare
Can you
Krishna.
say-
Can you hear me?
Say the whole mantra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, so please, could you make your offering now?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. My dear spiritual grandfather, Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to your divine grace. 21 years ago, I moved to America to realize the American dream. I remember being an overachiever, starry-eyed teenager, just having graduated at the top of my class from a well-known private school in India, heading to one of the most prestigious universities in the United States on a full scholarship. My tagline was, I'm going to the land of the free and the home of the brave to become the CEO of Microsoft. Yeah, that's how big I dreamt. 21 years later, I've not exactly become the CEO of Microsoft, but I consider myself richer than him because I have your shelter. I didn't know at the time that Krishna was pulling me to America to be discovered by you. When I see my mother and father at 72 and 82 years of age, respectively, struggling with joint pain, tiredness, blood pressure, and a host of other health issues, I feel overwhelmed by the sacrifices you undertook, particularly in your late 60s and during your 70s, to lay the roots to save lost souls like me who would come in the future. If you had chosen what was fun, fast, or easy over an intense labor of love for your spiritual master, today, 21 years after I immigrated, I would probably have been immensely materially successful, but totally internally miserable. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving meaning and purpose to my life. I wish to thank you on this day for one of your dear sons, Srila Bir Krishna Goswami. Because he feels greatly indebted to and in love with you, he's pouring gallons of blood to soften my heart. He is at the heart of the empathic revolution in ISKCON and is taking persons like me under his shelter to train us to create a more empathic society. Brene Brown writes, vulnerability is not weakness. It is our most accurate measure of courage. Srila Bir Krishna Maharaj brings this quote to life for me. He is courageous. I've never met anyone who better exemplifies the personalism you write about than Srila Bir Krishna Maharaj. His love has melted my heart, and I'm sold out to him. My life rests upon your gifts, Srila Prabhupada. I feel immense pride in being your beloved spiritual granddaughter, Sri Radhika Devi Dasi.
Haribol, very nice. Thank you very much. So it's very happy to have you here. We'll see you here in October, right?
Yes, Maharaj, can't miss it.
Okay, we'll continue with the rest of the program.
So I'm not going to use a pattern here. I'm going to try to make this not male-oriented or strictly Prabhupada disciple-oriented. I want to give everybody a chance, but I'm seeing that Sadhvi, I know you have something to say. So, and I'll ask everybody to try to keep the offerings at about 3 minutes.
My dear most Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. Such a beautiful, meaningful sentence that you... One second, I have to put my glasses because old age, you know. Okay, is that better? Okay, so I'll start again. No, it's okay. My dear most Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. Such a beautiful, meaningful sentence that you so kindly taught us. It reawakens and strengthens in our heart a desire to attempt to follow your perfect instructions. Srila Prabhupada, you showed us very clearly how messy and full of problems this world really is. And in America, every problem has a machine or a tool to fix it. But so many times the so-called solution also causes so many other problems. If someone had discovered and brought to our attention a problem shrinker that would address any and all difficulties, of course, that person would be loved and honored above all others. And that is what you have done when you came to this sinful land and gifted us with the holy name, the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Not only that, but you started a society of friends who are willing to make the endeavor to try to live by these principles. It worked beautifully and keeps growing. By your mercy, I have many very good friends whose lives were completely illuminated and changed for the better because you gave us hope, knowledge, and direction. When, as friends do, we express our struggles to each other, we quickly realize that we can't really win the battle against Maya's strong grip. Then our next step is to read together and take shelter of your Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And there comes Krishna's magic, as all these problems look rather insignificant in the big picture that you painted for us by your divine words dictated by Krishna. So our deepest desire and hope is to keep on encouraging each other by reading your books every day together. And please empower us to be a good instrument to share these with as many receptive souls as possible for whatever is left of our lives. Unlimited gratefulness to you, our dear most Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humblest obeisances. All glories to your lotus feet and all glories to your glorious spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who you sacrificed everything to please him and fulfill his order to come to the West and save the most fallen. I'm certainly in that category and very, very happy to be here amongst such sincere Vaishnavas who have such wonderful things to say, revealing their minds. Unfortunately for me, my mind is not full of anything wonderful or anything decent. But when I get to come here and be in the assembly of devotees, I can at least hear and fill my mind with their thoughts and their sentiments and their devotion. So, for all the wonderful things you gave us, the most wonderful thing is this great family of aspiring Vaishnavas and pure Vaishnavas who hold us up on a daily basis. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatarine. My dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my obeisances at your lotus feet. This year being the 125th anniversary of your glorious appearance, although I have not written this offering, I have been writing it internally for many days, meditating upon how you appeared 125 years ago. And then it appears that you left, but actually how your glories are becoming more and more and more broadcasted all over the world. And how wonderful it is to see how the next generations are taking so enthusiastically to engaging in your service. So Srila Prabhupada, you taught us that so much of our connection with you is through service, and for so many years I had the service of rendering service to Sri Radha Golokananda. So yesterday, when I had been on the altar on Janmashtami, I became overwhelmed with gratitude towards you. And actually some also that I was thinking like what Radhika from Chicago had said, because I was thinking, if you hadn't come to the West, and if Bear Krishna Goswami hadn't become your disciple, I wouldn't be here worshiping Radha Golokananda. And so that was giving me great faith in how important it is to keep the parampara going and to keep the links strong. His Holiness Bear Krishna Goswami, he often talks about chastity and faithfulness to the spiritual master. So I've also been meditating a lot on what it means to be chaste and faithful to you. And one of the biggest realizations that I've had is just that when you feel that sense of gratitude, a naturally affection comes. And so there's that desire that you want to serve. And so over the years, I have found that rather than growing more distant from you, that I felt much closer to you. And I've always seen that whenever I'm in difficulty or there is some problem, I always come running to you. And like a kind grandfather, you've been very merciful. So last week, we had a fire yagna, and I had the opportunity to throw grains into the fire. It was an initiation ceremony, and I was throwing the grains in for someone else. And I felt that this is my opportunity, that we should always be rededicating ourselves and having that self-introspection. So On this day, I come before you with a straw between my teeth and beg your forgiveness for my offenses to you and to the devotees, and pray to be able to serve in some small way. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your 125th appearance day. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
I'm going to suggest that it seems like this end of the hall is a little bit, you can move up because people are going to be coming in. And closer, we got a half of a temple room here. Hello. Thank you.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarina. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. You said once, better late than never. If I was your surrendered disciple for so many years, then I could write you perhaps a wonderful offering. But as you know, I have not been fully surrendered. Far from it, indeed. I am ashamed of this. But you have kindly kept me in the fold of your true devotees. And I still have hope that I can one day fully dedicate my life and soul to you, to what pleases you the most, which is the distribution of your transcendental literatures for the benefit of all in humanity. Since I'm completely helpless and dependent upon your I request you to please let me be an instrument of yours to accomplish your mission. I have no qualification. Thank you for tolerating me for so many years, and I hope that one day I can repay you and thus become pleasing to you instead of a pain in your side. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada, for fulfilling Lord Chaitanya's mission on this earth. Your lowly aspiring servant us. And I don't know if there's time, but I mean, I had the good fortune of seeing Srila Prabhupada's, Vapu form on several occasions. No time. That's good. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Your stories are good. At prasadam time, you can go to his table. And you're never a pain in anyone's side.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyadi Pashyate Adeshatarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, Savior of the whole world, as your grandchildren on this auspicious 125th appearance, would like to wish you a very happy birthday. Here are a few, so there's a small poem that I would like to offer at your lotus feet. We were wandering in wilderness with practically no help. You kindly saved us and introduced us to our real self. You are not just the founder of ISKCON, you also found us as we were lost for long. Pride and self-centeredness were main occupants in our head. You taught us that our true identity is to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead. We were searching for happiness to find some cure to our boredom. You taught us the chanting of Mahamantra that brings real peace and true freedom. We were searching for love and belongingness that always landed in frustration. In this worldwide family that you have created, we get so much love and care in blissful association. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for everything. Thanks is a small word, but we would like to pray to the Supreme Personality of God, continue serving you and this mission. Hare Krishna.
Mother Kamalini.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimante Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Shunyavadi Pastatya Deshatarane. Srila Prabhupada, before you came here, although the name of Krishna was well known in India, practically nobody in the West ever heard that name. And now, in such a short time, this holy name is spread all over the world, and most people have at least heard of Krishna. Now, at that time in the 1960s, there were many different spiritual gurus coming from India, and we came to know of them by their name, but not the name of Krishna. We didn't really know what they were teaching, but you, Srila Prabhupada, people, very few know your name. They know the name of Krishna, but not your name. So this we feel is unfortunate. And even in the very beginning, like when Harvey Cox, a professor and a professor of Indian Indology and Bhakti even, he came to meet when he found out there were devotees. I think on 22nd Avenue he came to discuss Bhakti, and he was so shocked. They don't even know anything about Bhakti. How can it be? How can it be that Westerners in the 1960s are giving up intoxication and premarital sex had become like then the normal accepted thing? And how could they possibly be doing this and getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and chanting this japa, like even without knowing much philosophy? Then he met you, Srila Prabhupada, and then he said, now I know why they're doing it. So we see that we have Prabhupada coined this phrase, gross materialism. So we have given up gross materialism only on your order. And we see even like in India, there are many different spiritual groups and all, but then, they of course drink tea and drink coffee and even smoke bidis, right? The priest of the yajnas, they are not even following very well. And this Srimad Bhagavatam, this is like the highest scripture. And here every single day, we discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. It's like normal. It's just like our regular conversation. Not usually it's considered so lofty and so thank you, and so high. So what to speak of all the different habits that we have of cleanliness that we didn't even know, but coming from such a degraded background, this is your miracle. Like reporters sometimes asked you, okay, you're a big guru from India, so can you show us a miracle? And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, look, this is my miracle, pointing to his disciples. How is it that they can give up all this sinful activity? And people engage in so much austerity. I was thinking of the Olympics, like how much every single day those athletes practice great austerity, giving up so much, giving up sense gratification. And for what? For what? Like, what is the goal and what is the benefit of all of it? And here we see just by chanting the holy name, like unlimited benefit. And so I know time is running out, but I just want to express my great gratitude to you, as everyone is, because where would we be without you? And I pray that I can somehow engage in your Sankirtan army and have the opportunity, will take the opportunity's always there for everyone, to glorify you and to give your transcendental words in the form of your literature to as many people as possible. So thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada.
Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prastham Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pachadane Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschetadesh Tadane. Dear Srila Prabhupada, in the memory books subtitled Anecdotes of a Modern Day Saint, there is a recollection in which once your disciple was remembering how you said, every disciple should see himself as a fool before his spiritual master. However, later on you told that same disciple that does not mean that such disciple should be a fool in front of his spiritual master. Remembering this, I remember again how humbling it is to be before a spiritual master. You said that one should not take a spiritual master as a matter of fashion, but because one genuinely wants to approach Krishna consciousness. And this year what I most appreciate in Srila Prabhupada is how practical you are with all your disciples. Both parents and spiritual teachers alike often find it very difficult to keep their children and disciples enthusiastic, whether that's by putting too many strictures on them or not giving enough enthusiasm. But just as you said of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada, you stated that Krishna is always a practical person. And in the same way, you knew how to give all your disciples practical ways by which they could engage all their activities in Krishna consciousness, to which I'm extremely grateful, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishaya Putale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine. So there's 3 minutes, which is nothing to glorify how much you have impacted the world. And Mother Kamalini was giving few practical examples of how much the world has become religious, how much Krishna's name has spread throughout the world. But I'd like to address something a little deeper, how you had this caring affection for each one of your devotees, and how this affection, this particular way, how you taught, how you spread the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so relentlessly, this can be seen through your disciples also, and can be felt, especially on days like these. Personally, I'm very fortunate to be in Krishna consciousness and to have the association of someone like you. Of course, I have not seen you personally, but I definitely can say that I have, because of your presence that can be felt through your disciples, through Guru. And it's just so warm and close to my heart. Like, Krishna consciousness is so amazing, and how fortunate I am to be in this, and how much you worked. You came, like the Jaladuta, you had 2 heart attacks, and it was a cargo ship. You went on the cargo ship, had 2 heart attacks, had another one after the several years later, and but still nothing stopped you. You kept on going to spread the mission, and I'm really grateful for that and how much you gave for us. I really hope that someday I'll be able to make you proud, make you happy. Please bless me and always make sure that I progress and be able to serve you through my grave and serve all the Vaishnavas very nicely. Very fortunate to have your blessings through this Krishna conscious movement, and I feel really fortunate to be under this very wonderful shelter, very cooling shelter of your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Any volunteers from the Gurukul students?
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. On this auspicious occasion of your 125th birthday, Srila Prabhupada, I'm very much grateful to you because of the association that you have created. And for me, it is very important in the sense that I came to know about ISKCON coming to US, even though I had gone to different temples, but I've never been to a ISKCON temple. So seeing you here and then getting the purity of thought process, like I was so surprised to first see the deities here, Radha Golokananda, so mesmerized, and then saw you and wanted to know more about you. And when I knew more about you, I understood that that is something very amazing and that is beyond my understanding. Then I read about you and your books. When I read about your books, it's very, very clear. So many things are like in our mind, coming from an Indian background, it's like a hodgepodge. We think things in a different way. Oh, sorry. We keep things in a very different way. So coming from an Indian background, as I was saying, there is a hodgepodge in the mind. But through your books, it's so clear. It's very, means the Vedic knowledge, the ultimate goal of Vedic knowledge is so beautifully clarified by your books and so clearly written that anybody who reads it can get the benefit of it. And that is an example, like we can see the Sankirtan movement going, book distribution going. Because of the book distribution and all the things all over the world, people are getting so much benefit, like because of this material life getting so much in the advanced stage, but the specific balance between the spiritual and material life and specific understanding is actually, which is a very important contribution, Srila Prabhupada. And I really also see that because this normally what happens when a movement starts, when the spiritual body who started it, when he passes away, things go on a different roller coaster. But because of the principles of Krishna consciousness that are so deeply rooted, and you have instilled them so nicely that we see through your disciples, because that's how we see you. We see them and we could imagine how you would be. And we are very thankful to all the disciples, especially we see Guru Maharaj here, who is His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj and Drishta Prabhu and all other disciples here who are amazingly inspiring us every time. And looking at them, we could see that we could see what your compassion is. So I'll not keep it longer. I can say for long times, but I would say that I want to dedicate our family and our life to this mission, and we can, if we can, or if I can be a better devotee and a better person, coming to this spiritual consciousness and helping and the association, and also getting blessings of the of different devotees here, so that I can progress nicely in the spiritual life, and be a person who can serve better to your mission. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Dasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Prasthaya Utale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. We hear these magnificent and heartfelt glorifications for the devotees on Srila Prabhupada's appearance day every year. And this is a treasure that we can keep alive for the rest of the year until the next time, by imbibing the emotion and devotion that everybody's putting into his words, that is nourishing ourselves, our consciousness. And we can keep this present to inspire us throughout the year. Prabhupada, we so many times have glorified you, so many times have we expressed our gratitude. And it's not just with words, but with actions. So, what would please you the most? I'm not sure what would please you the most, but I know that to see your children and grandchildren grow spiritually and become totally dedicated to the process of bhakti is something that a father would be being our father, grandfather, everybody would be very pleased to see that the children are growing, that the children are getting serious, are dedicating their lives, and that in this way your mission is successful. As we become more and more focused, more dedicated, then at that time we can also inspire others to follow the process of devotion under your guidance or the guidance of those who are guiding others, whose responsibility is to be the best they can be in order to be able to give the best guidance. So it's up to us to try to be the very best, whatever our capacity, whatever our level of development is, to be the best we can within our very limited capacity, by your blessings, by the blessings of Srila Golokananda, by the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by the blessings of the Holy Name. May we be serious every day, every second, so that we can please you with our dedication and devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Happy birthday, dear Srila Prabhupada. For the past couple of years, 2 years, we devotees have been going through a lot because of the pandemic, which is a result of our own karma. Last year, just before your birthday, your dear son, His Holiness Bhaktcharu Maharaj, left us, for he was not being able to live in separation from you anymore. That was a great shock for me. I was not ready to get another blow. But Nrsingadev had some other plan. This year, when I went back to Mayapur, after a long gap of 3.5 years, I thought I will enjoy being in my most beloved place. But I had to see the departure of my another dear, dear uncle, His Grace Pankajangri Prabhu. I offered flowers to his lotus feet while he was lying down in the temple courtyard. I followed him all the way till Ganga. There I saw my beloved uncle to completely disappear. I was and am still in so much shock and heartbroken, Srila Prabhupada. Their being in spiritual planet is now my motivation to go back to Godhead. I wish to see you and your beloved sons and daughters as soon as I can. Please help me in that, Prabhupada. I know you and my dear Guru Maharaj helped me in all my previous births, and I let you down every time. Please do not let me down this time, Prabhupada. I know Guru Maharaj loves me a lot, but when we went to when we went to New Vrindavan and met Rameshwar Prabhu, he said the grandfather loves you more than the father. So I know that you love me a lot. Please accept me in this life. I wish to get a pat on my shoulder from you and hear you say, I am happy to see you and I'm glad you made it. I wish you a great appearance day. Wish we can celebrate your Vyasa Puja every day. As your glories can never be heard enough, we want more. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
And we should say it's not just father and grandfather, but great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather soon.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते वीर कृष्ण गोस्वामी नीति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नीति नामिने. On this auspicious day of your appearance, Srila Prabhupada, I've been meditating on your quality of compassion, which is not a compassion of this world, it's a spiritual compassion which is much needed these days, because when I see the things that are happening around the world, where people are exploiting each other in the name of religion or nationality for various resources, and the whole world is going down, and I feel that there's a real need for spiritual compassion based on the spiritual platform, and you have come to give this. No one has ever given this in the past, and your books are filled with that, and I wish that everyone gets your books and they understand your teachings and develop spiritual compassion and stop exploiting others, whether it is on internet or physically or emotionally, because the world needs great Vaishnavas like you, and you have come to develop even greater Vaishnavas. By seeing your followers, I have hope that this spiritual compassion would spread all over the world, and it will be a better place. It will be a Vaikunta. So I hope that Prabhupada, that all the Jagai and Madais will become Jagadananda and Madhavananda someday, and this whole world will become a very peaceful place to do Radha Krishna bhajan. You are the embodiment of Gaur-Nitai's compassion. You are embodiment of Radha Krishna compassion, and I know it's very powerful, and it will happen sooner or later, but it will happen. And thank you so much, Prabhupada, for coming into my life and helping me and helping everyone. And I want to dedicate my life for the rest of my life and the rest of eternity at your lotus feet, at the lotus feet of your followers. Thank you so much, Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Sumant Prabhu?
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vasaya Buddhale Shrimati Bhakti Sampadaya Namo Sri Prabhupada Priyada Shukta Nishmani Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vasaya Buddhale Shrimati Bhakti Sampadaya Namo Sri Sarvadeva Kodapani Vijayani Vishesha Sampadaya. Forgive my mumbling, I've got a numb mouth. Just came from the dentist. Srila Prabhupada, thank you for the knowledge and the mercy. Thank you for translating Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the most profound book, and transports us to out of this miserable material world. And I'm not able to please you directly, but by serving your servants, then hopefully I can please you indirectly. And like Gopal was saying, there's nothing, there's not much wonderfulness inside of me, but I just hope to be an assistant to your servants. And on a day like today, I think it's appropriate to rededicate ourselves to the mission of Srila Prabhupada. We dedicate ourselves to the mission of Srila Prabhupada, and personally, I'm most attracted to the your strategy of trying to make Western people devotees of Krishna as a strategy to spread Krishna consciousness throughout the entire world. So thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada.
Vishnu Sarvadeva Shrimati Krishna Haskashamani Tamane Mamsaka Shrapa Papayate Shikita Shidin Small Fagaravane Namo Vishnu Sarvadeva Shrimati Bhaktivinoda Swami Tamane Namaste Sarvati Deva Gorni Pachane Nevasis New Varivasatadi Stane. Dear Srila Prabhupada, I'm so fortunate to be on the planet after you started your Krishna consciousness movement. This time is just the perfect, auspicious time. Thank you for being so merciful to me and all the other people of the world. No one else cares for people as much as you do on the planet right now. Please be kind to us. Please give us your strength. We need strength because of everything that is happening in the world due to Kali Yuga. We have this COVID thing, and we have to remain fixed in our faith and our service somehow, and be practical at the same time. Dear Srila Prabhupada, I'm so glad I read that first Back to Godhead magazine that I saw. I'd come to the conclusion that family life, there was no happiness. It was just toil and trouble. And it didn't bring me the joy I thought it would. I had a child and a husband, but they didn't satisfy me. And I was looking for something else. I had given up my Christian faith because of problems with things I had read in the Bible and things like that. But I was looking for something new. And I read that magazine. I read an article by you on Ramaraj. And all of a sudden, it was just like I was hit on the head by a thunderbolt. I thought, this is what I'm looking for. This man, he has what I'm looking for, and he's giving it. I have to meet him. I have to meet him. And so I went to my first ISKCON temple on Rosalie Street in Houston with Gaur-Nitai deities, which was just perfect for me and my fallen condition at the time. Gaur-Nitai were the perfect deities for me to see. It was all Krishna's arrangement. And then I became a devotee. I still had family lives, so I couldn't do much. I could hardly go to the temple. My husband was opposed. But I kept my faith, and I got some books, and I read when I could. And then I began to hope that one day I could be full-time. Krishna made the arrangement that I had mental problems and couldn't take care of my family or anything. Couldn't do my service. So I left family life and got a divorce. And I was just sort of went back to my parents' house. But then it said I went back to the temple in Dallas, which is my hometown. That didn't satisfy me. So I tried another temple, and that didn't satisfy me. And then I came here thanks to an article by Mother Krishna Priya in a magazine that's not published anymore. I read that article and I called her. Or was it Gurudev that I called? I think it was Srila Gurudev. I called out the number, and Gurudev sent me a picture of the deities, and he sent me money for a bus ticket. And he just knew by that one conversation that I was supposed to be here. Thank you for empowering your disciple to be distributor of your mercy and to have your intuition. But only by your empowerment am I here. And only by your mercy are any of us here. So thank you very much for being so merciful. Help me to be merciful too. Help all of us to be merciful and compassionate to the fallen conditioned souls as much as we can. They all need you. They all need Krishna consciousness. They all need Gaur Nitai and Radha and Krishna. Please help us to help others come find the happiness that is in spiritual life and love of Radha and Krishna. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada.
Nama Om Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminitya Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvasesha Shunyavadi Prasacha Deshtarni Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatutma Sloki Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Srila Prabhupada, on the 125th anniversary of your appearance, I'm praying to somehow or other always be in your service. As this shloka from the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, its 18th shloka. By regularly hearing the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome in the heart is practically destroyed, and loving service is established in the heart as an irrevocable fact. Srila Prabhupada, by hearing the Bhagavatam from you and having your association, the troublesome things in my heart have been destroyed, practically to nil. And loving devotional service has been planted in my heart to be realized as I continue to serve you. Srila Prabhupada, had you not come here, there would be no Krishna consciousness movement. And as we get older, we realize, how is it possible for someone at your age, at an age of 70, to go to a land he'd never been to before with no money? But you are empowered by the Supreme Lord because of your faith and your total dedication to saving the conditioned souls of this world. And you certainly saved me. And it's not just on the level of spirituality, it's on every level. Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about how we have physical needs and psychological needs and community needs and so many different needs. So Krishna consciousness is the cure for everything. We have the best community, our mental health issues become destroyed, our physical health is better, everything has been given to us, but most importantly, what we're given from you is the seed of pure devotional service. So in this life, I've been given an opportunity to serve, but I ask for one benediction, that when this life ends, may I take my birth wherever you're preaching. And when I take my birth wherever you're preaching, next time, I want to be one of the disciples who's with you at 26 2nd Avenue. And I want to be there under the tree, wherever planet it is, and to serve you. And I can do that forever and ever. That would be my eternal good fortune. So on this most holy day of your appearance, I simply offer myself as your servant and pray that somehow or other I may always have your service, birth after birth. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Rishikesh Prabhu.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारणे. Srila Prabhupada, that day I was, every day I pray, I nanda tanuja kinkaram patida mam vishame bhavam vado kripaya tavapada pankaja siddhadvadi sarsam vichintaya. I pray this every day. But then other day I just realized that, ISKCON is a family of servants. I mean, we are saying, my Lord, I am your eternal servant. But actually speaking, I am already a servant within the family of ISKCON. It's such a great fortune, Srila Prabhupada, what you have given to us, is to practice this Gopi Bhadur Padakamalayor Dasa Dasa, Dasanu Dasaha. This is the main theme of ISKCON. We are just servants of the servants of the servants of the servants, and we are just doing this to please you, Srila Prabhupada, and by pleasing you, will please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I can't express the good fortune we all have to practice this most wonderful, pleasing process to become Gopi Bhatur Padakamali or Dasa, Dasa, Dasanu Dasa. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity, and I'll make sure that I will please you by following the process properly, and by pleasing you, I'll be pleased the entire Sampradaya, including the Supreme Lord, Shri Radha Krishna. Thank you so much, dear Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपस्ताय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी प्रसाद धारणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गुरुवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम. Srila dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept. Wherever you are, please accept my humble obeisance into the lotus feet of the. When you come to the Western country to fulfill your Guru Maharaj desire, before you so many sannyasi come to the Western country to preach the religion, but they come with only philosophy. Prabhupada, when you come with the philosophy and bhakti, and that's why you get a great success to preach in a Western country. You gave us a simple way how to go back to Godhead and avoid this birth and death situation. You said that please distribute the books, distribute prasadam, and do some devotional service, and this is the easy and simple way to go back to Godhead. So when I come in America, that's the way I learn about the religion. Otherwise in India, if I would have in India, I would never learn about the religion at all. Okay. Over here, so many activities going on to preach the Krishna conscious. Prabhupada says, Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. So you can be a guru and teach whatever you know about the Krishna and preach the people, make the people Krishna conscious. And that's the way you are making easy way back to Godhead. So many simple things Prabhupada gave us to us. Only up to us how to apply it and how to go back to Godhead. So I'm so grateful to Srila Prabhupada give us simple way, and if you follow, we can go sure for go back to God. So thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Keep me in your shelter and your mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschanti Deshatarine. The only thing I can say really is that thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for doing everything you have done, and so many disciples around the world and so many gurus around the world who have delivered us. Always used to speak so highly of you. Every single day, I remember, like, during breakfast time, all he did was listen to your lectures. And after every lecture, he would, give like a short class to the people who were serving him for about a few minutes. And every class he ended was that always stay with Prabhupada, always stay with his mission, and don't ever leave ISKCON. And after he departed, I'm very, I would say, lucky and to have two gurus in my life. His Holiness Bkgoswami Goswami and His Holiness Bhaktacharya Swami. And it's just very amazing to see what Prabhupada has done for us, and wherever we are today is because of him. And I'm very grateful to you for that. Thank you so much. Your servant, Ujjwal Rasananda Das. Hare Krishna.
He's going to be able to do this because we're running a little short on time, but we're going to try to get as many people as possible. I saw some Prabhupada disciples come in, and so we'll be trying to let the disciples of Srila Prabhupada speak for sure. Okay.
Srila Prabhupada, I am such a lazy devotee that I'm going to take shelter of one of your disciples who has spoken everything I feel so well. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj in his song, Yadi Prabhupada Na Hoite. And that I think every one of us can relate to. So I'm just going to read the translation of that because it is all so important for all of us to remember and imbibe all the mood that Srila Prabhupada has portrayed and has given to his disciples. If Srila Prabhupada had not come, what would have happened? How could we have passed our lives? We don't know. Watching TV? Who else would have distributed the unlimited mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Gauranga all over the world? Which other compassionate person would have endeavored to deliver the miscreants, sinful, impersonalists, and voidist people in the West? Who else would have come to distribute Harinam to them? Who else would have come forward to transform them into civilized beings? Who else would have taught them how to worship the deity form of Lord Hari day and night with Aarti, and how to conduct the Rath Yatra and Grand Festival? Who else would have explained these scriptures so clearly and beautifully? Who else would have tolerated all difficulties and distributed Harinam with a pleasant heart? Bishop Prabhu talked about hardships at 70 plus. We're all getting, some of us are getting there, some of us are there, and we can really relate how our bodies are functioning. And to imagine Srila Prabhupada came all that way, single-handedly preached, single-handedly taught everything, single-handedly cooked so many feasts. It's just amazing. Who else would have tolerated all difficulties and distributed Harinam with a pleasant heart? Who would have given us the dhams such as Mayapur, Vrindavan, and Jagannath Puri? We grew up in India. We didn't really appreciate any of these dhams. It's only after Prabhupada taught us that we could appreciate them. The teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu constituted the greatest and most auspicious treasure. Who else would have engaged us in constantly practicing and preaching it? Shishi, Nitai Gaura are desiratories of love of Godhead, desiring a drop of their mercy. I, Jadurani, incessantly take shelter of your divine grace and the servants of your divine grace. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for being here.
Bhatu Gopal.
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we read about the Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returning from his tour of South India, returning to Jagannath Puri. So I'm going to read a few verses. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then asked all the people to leave. Afterwards, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for Kala Krishnadas, who had accompanied the Lord during his South Indian tour. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Bhattacharya, just consider the character of this man who went with me to South India. He left my company to associate with the Bhattaharis, but I rescued him from their company and brought him here. Now that I have brought him here, I am asking him to leave. Now he can go wherever he likes, for I am no longer responsible for him." Hearing the Lord reject him, Kala Krishnadas began to cry. However, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not caring for him, immediately left to take his noon lunch. And then something wonderful happened. After this, the other devotees, headed by Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadananda, Mukunda, and Damodar, began to consider a certain plan. Srila Prabhupada, you've written, purport, even though a person is rejected by the Supreme Personality, the devotees of the Lord do not reject him. Therefore, the Lord's devotees are more merciful than the Lord himself. Srila Narottam Das Thakur thus sings, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Peche Keba. One cannot be relieved from the material clutches without engaging in the service of pure devotees. The Lord himself may sometimes be very hard, but the devotees are always kind. Thus, Kala Krishnadas received the mercy of the 4 devotees mentioned above. So they made a plan to send Kala Krishnadas with news of Lord Chaitanya's arrival in Jagannath Puri. They dispatched him to return to Bengal to inform Advaita Acharya and all of the devotees there of the Lord's return. So just imagine, just consider what a wonderful service that was that they gave this so-called rejected person. The bearer of good news, you know, is always welcome. And in fact, the happiness of the recipient of the news showers over the bearer of the good news. He becomes the most dear person. So as this Kala Krishnadas returned, and first Mother Shachi Devi, then Advaita Acharya and then all the other Vaishnavas heard from him this wonderful news of Lord Chaitanya's return, how much they must have blessed him for bringing that wonderful news. So this is the nature of a pure devotee. He is even more merciful than Krishna, because if Krishna rejects, the pure devotee does not reject. We can't know how many lifetimes, perhaps, we've been struggling on this path of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada said, if you're chanting Hare Krishna, it means that you must have worshipped Krishna in past lives also. Who knows how long? But somehow or other, by the mercy of great souls, and here in this life, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who is such a great personality, we are again and again and again and again given opportunities to engage in Lord Krishna's service. Therefore, as the Acharya says, Srila Prabhupada, your mercy is all that we are made of. We have nothing else. And shamelessly, however unqualified we also confidently depend upon your mercy, because you are such an exalted person. You can do no less. You will always bestow this great blessing of Krishna consciousness upon anyone who approaches you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Maharaj, we're getting 15 extra minutes, so everybody can get a chance. And now we'll have a short musical interlude.
Krishna tava punya habeva, Krishna tava punya habeva, e punya kudi bijave, Radharani kushi habe, Dhruva ati boli tomatai. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Sachisuta Priyati Krishna Sevya Jara Tulanai. Say Mohanta Guru Jagate Madhyayuru Krishna Bhakti Deya Tai Tai. Taraicha Balavan Paschachete Tantat Hoijate Gorangena Priti Viti Nagaradi Asamudra Nadanadi Sakale Loi Krishnanam Tahale Ananda Hoy Tavi hoy Digvijoy Chaitanya Kripa Atishoy Maya Dushta Jata Duki Jagate Sabai Suki Vaishnaver Icha Purna Hoy Se Karye Kodi Bare Agyajadi Dile More Joganaki ati dinahina Tai se tomara kripa Jakiteche anurupa Ajitumi saba pravina Tomara se shakti pele Guru seva vastu mile Jivana sartaka jadi hoy. Say, Vapele, Takale, Tuki Hale, Tava Sangha Bhagyate Miloi Evam Janam Nipatitam Prabhavahi Kupe Kamabhikama Manuya Prapatan Prasanga Vatma Satchurashina Bhagavan Grihita Soham Katam Nubisrajay Tava Brita Seva Kumi Mochirasati Uliya Mayanati Kayache Janma Janmankare Ajipuna Esu Joga Jadiyai Joga Joga Tabe Pari Tuke Milibare To Marami Langibai Avate Sukapai Kocharane Puri Dihimo Kotobane Chuta Chuti Panikai Luta Puti Seidin Habe Habe Mo Aju Sei Subidane Kumaros Maranga Veda Koro Ashadati Mahamkai Amato Marana Kyada Kaikari Etoas Tumibina Anya Latinai Krishna Dava Punya Habibai Krishna Dava Punya Habibai Ei Punya Kuri Bejave Radharani Kushi Habe Jiva Ati Boli Tomatai Krishna Tava Punya Habibai Krishna Tava Punya Habibai
I'll let Srila speak. Because she said, Ma, I wish I could speak with Srila Prabhupada every day. So I think Srila has more to say.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, I know just talking today is nothing because I could go on rants every single night. So anyway, I just want to thank you today, especially because it's your birthday. And I want to thank you for always being by my side, even though I'm not like the best at, talking and asking for help. And when I really need it, I always have you and Krishna by my side. And I know I'm never walking alone. And whenever I look by my side, I see you and Krishna. So thank you for guiding me and giving me strength when I don't feel like I have it in me. And there's so much to say, but the words aren't coming. But there's so much to be thankful for. And though this isn't much of a glorification, I just want to say my sincere thanks to you for everything, for giving me this family, for letting me be here today. I don't know what life has to give me, because I didn't know I'd be here now the way I am. So, and especially because, I'm in my teenage years, right? I pray that I can, no matter what happens, that I may be able to always serve you, never leave ISKCON, because that's the least I could do when you're always by my side, regardless of any mistakes or offenses I've made. And please, keep me in your service always. Because after all you've given me, it'd be my peace to just give away my life for your service so that I can be happy and that I may be able to please and help anyone at all in any way. And while you were in the Jaladuta, you had said, "Oh Lord, I'm just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, oh Lord, make me dance as you like." So in the same way, I beg you, Srila Prabhupada, make me dance my way back to Goloka Vrindavan in your rhythm, in your tune, in whatever way you would like me. Just please take care of me, because I don't know what I'm doing. Thank you so much. Your grateful servant, Srila.
My dear Srila Prabhupada, when you began your preaching mission into the West, you planted a seed which has grown into this tremendous creeper that has spread all over the earth. And like a spark that starts a fire, which spreads, this Krishna conscious movement has spread across the world. And it continues to spread through our ability to associate with your disciples and their disciples and on and on. It is that association that I find the most valuable gift in my life, and I thank you very much for planting that seed and allowing us to enjoy the benefits and the fruits of that creeper. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णा पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. So Prabhupada, what can I say in front of so many advanced Vaishnavas and his great disciples, grand disciples, and so many. But I like to say a few things. Prabhupada is the only person I have come to know Bhagavad Gita had existed for a long time, and many folks from India has come to the West to really do something, say some spirituality, but it is only Prabhupada who really gave the real message of Bhagavad Gita that we are not this body, what the world is suffering from, not understanding that very concept. And he was so bold, only a pure devotee can be that bold, because many of us, we are suffering from a disease called unfulfilled needs, and to somehow indirectly or directly we try to meet that need, and then that's how the mission fails of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada preached the real message that we are not this body, and build this ISKCON society actually through his great dedicated and hard-working, pure disciples and grand disciples, great grand disciples, and I am one of the beneficiaries that my life is saved by really coming in contact with this mission. So my sincere prayer on this day, especially on 125th anniversary, is, Prabhupada, please help me through your disciples, grand disciples, great grand disciples. Somehow I can stay in touch with under this umbrella you have created, and I continue to somehow, whatever little way, like a small ant, what Lord Ram was telling about, that carrying a small sand crystal, and Hanuman says, your Hanuman, your service, the mountain is the same as a small insect carrying a small crystal of sand to build the bridge. So this is my sincere desire. Somehow, if I could continue, sir, please help me with that. I can hang out with under your umbrella and stay sheltered, because the one you teach this, the whole world, this message, because it was so pure. And these days, because not understanding that message, and always say, I'm Indian, I'm American, South American, whatever, this faith, that faith, no one ever understood what is the real faith, who is the real God, what is our constitutional position. You are the only one who could clearly establish this and very boldly preach the entire world, and your disciples and grand disciples, great grand disciples, all they have taken over the entire world. And because you gave the pure message, we are not this body, we are not Indian, we are not Christian, we are not Muslim, we are not Hindus, we are way beyond. And that's why it is spread all over the world, and people from all over different kind of concept are under this umbrella, and they are living happy, healthy, and enjoying the life. And this is the shelter, great shelter you have given, and we are all very, very proud of this. Somehow, I just pray we can continue this, helping this mission. This is the only hope. When we see these days, people are killing each other in the name of religious practices, so many things, materialistic ideas, no peace, nothing. It will never happen, because this is not the truth. No one ever told and boldly preached that. You are the only one who has done, demonstrated, and the whole world has taken to your message. And we are very fortunate that somehow we got into this, got into your umbrella, got convinced. Your mind is very, very, very kind of dangerous, manipulates us, but somehow we got this little intelligence, and then we came to your shelter, and we are all saved, happy, and healthy. So please help me, especially that I can continue to stay in your umbrella, under your umbrella, sir, whatever little, that's what I am doing, capable of, and please help me, my Lord. This is my sincere desire, and help. I am seeking the help of all the Vaishnavas around here. Of course, I am associated. This is the closed, very, very interesting, very, very caring Vaishnava family. I am very proud to be part of this. It's a wonderful place, this community especially. I am so impressed, and Guru Maharaj and all, Bir Krishna Maharaj and all these, the people, part of this community. It's wonderful. Thank you, Prabhupada, giving us this wonderful association. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Vilamrita Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada, thank you so much for being the most wonderful Vaishnava, the most loving person. The other day, His Holiness Bir Krishna Maharaj said in class that your appearance day is the most important festival in the whole year, even more important than Janmashtami, because without you, we would not know anything. And I just want to thank you about my good fortune, thanks to you, that I'm here in ISKCON. And I just want to thank you that you gave me two most wonderful gurus, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and through my husband also, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, who also did so much for me in this lifetime. When you came from Vrindavan to Manhattan, it was like coming from the spiritual world to hell, but you overtook that because in this country, nothing less than your lotus feet would do it. Only you could do it. And thank you so much. Thank you so much that I'm today here because you saved me so many times. And as my two gurus serve you life after life, unconditionally, and they love you so much, I would also ask you for blessing that I can serve them life after life. Because once Bir Krishna Maharaj told me, you never take break in serving your Guru and Krishna because you love them so very much. And no matter what comes your way, you do whatever it takes for them. Thank you for being the best writer in the universe. Thank you for being the best, whatever. Whenever I think about your life, you know, peace is there in my heart. And even thinking about you gives me so much peace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love you so very much. Hare Krishna.
My apologies that we can't have everyone speak now, but we're, Bir Krishna Maharaj is going to speak, and then we're going to have our Pushpanjali for Srila Prabhupada, and then after that will be the Artik to Srila Prabhupada.
This is to avoid COVID. Because I definitely don't want to share COVID with all of you. I don't have it, but I don't want to share all of your COVIDs. Anyway, so Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Budale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharni Nivashesha Shunyavadi Pasyachitayi Shatarni. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my prostrated obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to your divine grace. Because of the departure of your dear disciple and my closest friend, Bhakti Chur Maharaj, this year has been challenging. We have been working together in your divine grace's service for many years. Philosophically, we can understand the temporary nature of this world, but when it comes to experiencing the separation from Vaishnavas, strong emotions naturally overwhelm us. Narottama Das Thakur, in his prayer to the departed Vaishnavas, states, all at once they have gone to join Lord Gauranga, the great dancer. To reach such a perfect personality as Lord Chaitanya, I can only break my head against the stone in the anguish of separation. They have all gone off together in their own Leela. Narottama Das says, unable to obtain their association, I must simply weep. That's from the poem Yea Nila Premadana. In helping the disciples of Bhakti Chur Maharaj deal with this departure, I have been reminded of the trauma I experienced when you departed from this mortal world. I keep remembering the instructions you gave in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam regarding a disciple's mood when the spiritual master enters into Krishna's eternal pastimes. Quote, similarly, a devoted disciple of the spiritual master would rather die with the spiritual master than fail to execute the spiritual master's mission. Bhagavatam 4:28-50. And when one becomes serious to follow the mission of the spiritual master, his resolution is tantamount to seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As explained before, this means meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the instruction of the spiritual master. This is technically called Vani Seva. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states in his Bhagavad Gita commentary on the verse beginning Vyavasayatmaka Buddhire Keha Kuranandara, it's Bhagavad Gita 2:41, that one should serve the words of the spiritual master. The disciple must stick to whatever the spiritual master orders. Simply by following on that line, one sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam 4:28-51 purport. My realization of your words deepens with time. Not only do I need to be focused on serving your mission with my body, mind, and words, but I need to ensure that your mission will continue and increase with succeeding generations of devotees. With the passage of time, my own bodily mortality becomes apparent. I pray to you that I will not fall into the illusion of seeing others pass away and thinking it will not happen to me. Ahani bhutani, gachanti yamalayam shesha stavaram ichanti, kimascharya param. Every moment, every second, every day, every night, there are so many hundreds and thousands of living entities going to the temple of death or dying. But one who is living is thinking, I will not die, I will live for good. That is the most wonderful thing. I must endeavor to ensure that your legacy will remain prominent in this world. This is not an easy task. It requires that the understanding of your words, your example, your vision, and your intention be figuratively carved in stone in your ISKCON society. We must learn how to apply this understanding in changing times. In this way, we can satisfy you by helping you create a spiritual revolution in the impious civilizations of this world. Srila Prabhupada, please give me the intelligence and strength to work together with your other followers to accomplish this. Your servant, Bir Krishna Das Goswami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You can turn the microphone on again. What? What's that? Pushpanjali. Oh, all right. Let me use this microphone. Jagat, can you operate the camera if I'm doing Pushpanjali? Just make sure it's. I've been operating the camera during the whole thing, so whoever's been doing the offering, they're on the camera, and it's actually, if you want to watch it later on, it's all on my Facebook page and on the YouTube page. So everybody is personally seen on the camera as they've been making their offerings. Okay, do we have a songbook? A songbook? Songbook? He's got it. Okay. So with the Pushpanjali, we're responsibly chanting the Mangala Charana prayers. Hopefully you can hear me through these masks. I'll just put it up here. So please repeat, and after we finish chanting all the Mangala Charana prayers, we chant the pranams for Prabhupada one time, and we offer 3 flowers, saying Esha Pushpanjali, Esha Pushpanjali, Esha Pushpanjali. Then chant the pranam mantras for Prabhupada responsibly, same thing. And then chant the pranam mantras for Prabhupada responsibly, same thing. And that's Pushpanjali. And after that, we have the Arti ceremony for Srila Prabhupada. So please repeat. Om Gana Timiranda Shab Gananjana Chalakaya Chakshur Unmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamhayam Tadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Savaitam Sadvadutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Namahom Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dejatarine Namahom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shivarshabhanavi Devi Dvayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjvala Premadja Shivrupanuga Bhaktita Shigora Karana Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gurubani Shimurte Dinatarine Rupanuga Vidudapa Siddhanta Dvantaharane Namo Gaurikishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Risambode Padambujaya Te Namaha Namo Bhaktivinodaya Satchidananda Namane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Avirbhava Bhumestram Nideshta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatattva Atmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tishe Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Siddho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikakanta Radhakanta Namostute Jayatam Suratao Pangor Mamamanda Materagati Matsarvashra Padambujao Radha Madanamohana Divyad Vrindavranya Kalpa Drupadaha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanastap Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Prastalevi Sevyamana Smarami Sriman Rasa Rasarambe Vamshivata Tatastitaha Kashan Venu Swanayar Gopir Gopinata Shri Esnunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivashesha Shunyavadhi Pasyacha Dejatarine Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay. Again. Namaho Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacharine Nivashesha Shunyavadi Pasyacha Dejatarine Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Again. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namate Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacharine Nivashesha Shunyavadi Pasyacha Dejatarine Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Isha Pushpanjali Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay. Arti. You can turn on the other microphone. You have Arti.
Yeah, these are not. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Also see if maybe. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Shri Guru Charana Padma Evalabhakati Sadma Bandhamvi Savadhanamate Bandhamve savadhanamate Yahara prasade bhai e bhavatoriya Krishna prapti hoya hoite Krishna prapti hoya hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Te Koriya Aikya Arna Kori Ho Mane Asha Arna Kori Ho Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rathi Aise Uttamagati. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. Chakudan dilo ye janme janme Prabhu se. Chakudan dilo ye janme janme Prabhu se. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. Prema Bhakti Ahoite Abidya Vinasa Dhyate. Prema Bhakti Ahoite Abidya Vinasa Dhyate. Vede Gai Jahara Charita. Vede Gai Jahara Charita. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Arama Janara Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Arama Janara Bandhu. Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Ha Prabhu Koro Doye Deho More Parachoya. Ha Prabhu Koro Doye Deho More Parachoya. Ebe Jash Gushu Tribhuvana. Ebe Jash Gushu Tribhuvana. Ha Prabhu Koro Doya Deha More Pada Joya. Ah, Prabhu Koro Doya Deha More Pada Joya. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Jai Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Gaur Haribol. Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Gaur Haribol. Netai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Netai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe. Jaya Radha Goloka Nanda Radha Goloka Nanda Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Golokananda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanandi. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pariva Jakacharya Astatara Satasi Simad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Harigora Bhaktavrinda ki jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Ganga Devi ki jai, Yamuna Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktavrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanandi, Gaura Premanandi, Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic the prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, please be merciful unto us. In the shade of your lotus feet, your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namaste.